Well, welcome everyone to the Department of Fashion, Interior Design, and Merchandising. I'm Tanya Domina, and I am a faculty member in sorry about that, in the Department of Fashion Merchandising. Also with me today is Beth Embry. Beth, you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. My name is Beth Embry. I'm the internship coordinator for the Department of Fashion, Interior Design, and Merchandising, and I am also a graduate of the Interior Design program at CMU.
Also with us today is Katie Bischel, who is the coordinator of Prospective Student Services for our college, and Deb McAlpin, who is one of our college's academic advisors. So again, welcome. So our department has two majors and some minors. The first major, we have fashion merchandising and design. And within fashion merchandising and design, you have the option of 4 concentrations. So you can concentrate in fashion merchandising, fashion design, visual merchandising, or product development. The visual merchandising and product development concentrations are online only, but that does not preclude an on-campus student from completing them. Additionally, what that means is that many of our courses are offered online. So you have the option of blending face-to-face with online offerings. So there's a lot of flexibility there. The other major in our program is the interior design program. And then we also offer minors in fashion design, interior design, and visual merchandising. You can also cross-reference these. So for example, you could major in fashion merchandising and you could minor in interior design, or you could major in interior design and minor in either visual merchandising or fashion merchandising.
And our interior design program is accredited by the Council for Interior Design Accreditation, also known as CEDA. So that just means we have a very high quality program.
So our department has a number of specialized spaces, and you can see pictures from some of those spaces on your screen now. So both the fashion merchandising and design and the interior design programs have their own CAD labs. And in those labs, we offer a mix of common design software like Adobe Creative Suite, and also though industry specific software. So that gives the students the opportunity to get training on industry specific software so that they're ready for that first career. For the fashion design students, we also have an apparel production lab. And in that lab, we have industrial sewing machines and pressing equipment. We have dress forms that are useful for draping garments and evaluating fit. We have cutting tables, everything that a student needs to take a design from concept all the way through completion. Another specialized space is our visual merchandising lab, and there is nothing else like it anywhere in the country. And in that visual merchandising lab, you have the opportunity to create large scale windows like you see in the bottom of your screen. We also have shadow boxes. And then inside, it's sort of set up like a store environment. So students have the opportunity to learn how to merchandise walls, merchandise fixtures. They complete styling exercises. And this is also the space where we hold our fashion and 3D printing class, of which it's the only one of its kind in the country. And as part of that class, students have access to 33 3D printers.
Okay. And the interior design program has a design studio space. So this is a space that houses our drafting tables, and also just serves as a place where students can work on their projects. So we have like a mat cutter and paper cutter and all kinds of supplies there, so students can work on creating models, rendering their drawings, or even working on just any of the other projects that they need to work on. So it's a very open space for students.
And then lastly, we also have a textile testing lab, which is utilized by students from both programs. And in that space, you have the opportunity to burn your fabrics, pour chemicals on them. We have all the standard textile testing equipment, so you can test for things like abrasion resistance or stretch or color fastness, does the color rub off onto other textile products? So what that does is it allows the fashion merchandising and design, interior design students to evaluate their textile product prior to selecting it as a covering or as part of a final product to ensure that it is a suitable fabric for its intended end use. So both the programs require an internship experience, and so I'm going to talk about the one for the fashion merchandising and design students. So our internship program takes place in the summer between the junior and senior year. You have to complete 300 hours, and students find internships across the state of Michigan, and as you can see on your screen, across the United States and internationally as well. So we've had students intern at all the major companies. This is just a very, very small smattering of the kinds of internships that students find. And these internships are usually selected in part based on a student's career path and what kind of experience they're hoping to get before they leave the university.
Okay, so for interior design internships, we offer a summer-only internship. Our students typically take that internship class within the last year that they're in the program here at CMU. It is a 250-hour, 10-week internship. Most of our students do stay within the state of Michigan, but as you can see, I've included some internships across the United States and also internationally that we've had, like Spain and Mexico. And in addition, both of our programs have an internship preparation course for our students every spring. So we help them with that process of finding an internship. So we're working on things like interviewing skills, application materials, portfolios, and anything they need to be successful in securing that internship site.
One of the biggest events for our department is the Threads Fashion Show. So this is an annual fashion show that is completely student run and student produced. It's also the largest event on campus outside of graduation. It's also a multidisciplinary event. And so not only are the fashion merchandising and design and students involved, but also the interior design students. They participate and they help with organizing and designing the layout for the VIP event. We engage students who are studying foods and nutrition, and they help with food for our VIP selection. And then also the broadcasting and cinematic art students are involved with video production. So this is an opportunity for the fashion design students to show their work on a runway. The work is juried, so that makes it even more realistic. The merchandising students also play a vital role, and you can participate through helping with marketing, PR, model management, music selection, the still exhibition, graphics. So it's a huge production that actually starts the summer before, and it takes place every spring in April. So many of you I know are interested in what kind of career a degree in fashion merchandising or fashion design could lead to. And our industry is huge. And it actually could be in any industry that has anything to do with color or materials or textile products or even aesthetics. So that even includes like aerospace and automotive, for example. So on your left, you'll see that there are some pretty standard career paths that are open to students. CAD designers are very common position for both fashion merchandising and fashion design students. We have alums at all the major companies across the United States. And we do actually have alums that are permanently working and living in abroad, primarily in Europe. We also have an active network of over 500 alumni. And as a FMD student, you would have the opportunity to access this database, interact with our alumni. Our alumni are very helpful when it comes time for internships. And then they're also very helpful when it comes time for that first career after graduation. We also have students that are also interested in opening their own business. And we have a number of alums who are small business owners.
Okay, so when we talk about interior design career paths, we typically break it down into residential interior design and commercial interior design, and then specialties within those. So for residential interior design, we're talking about designing spaces where people live. And so you might work for a residential interior design firm, or you might own your own residential interior design firm. You could work for an architecture firm, you could work for a builder, or you could even work for a furniture store like Ethan Allen. They have interior design consultants that they hire that they want interior design degrees for. Within residential interior design, then a specialty would be kitchen and bath design. So we have a lot of alums that really go into that, take that path for their career. With commercial design, we have retail store design. So for example, one of our alums worked for Vera Bradley and she did all of the store planning for their retail spaces. Excuse me, you can also go into healthcare facility design or office design. So we are very fortunate to have 3 of the largest office furniture manufacturers in the state of Michigan. And so that, we have a lot, and I shouldn't say a lot, we have alums that work at all 3 of those places. So we're talking about Steelcase, Herman Miller, and Hayworth. Those are 3 large places. Another avenue that you could take then would be to work for what we call a dealership. So a dealership would be like an office design firm who is a dealer for, let's say, Steelcase. So they specify Steelcase furniture and systems units within their office spaces when they're working with clients. You could also work for a healthcare facility design firm, and that's all they do is healthcare facilities. We have a couple of alums that I know of who are currently doing that. We have an alum that works for the Department of Veterans Affairs. And let's see, I think there was one other. That. So the final one would be hospitality design. So this would be restaurant and hotel designs. We also have a hospitality services administration minor here at CMU. So that's something that you can take as a minor and help to complement your interior design major if you're interested in that. So that's just kind of a general overview. We have students that do all kinds of different types of careers, but that gives you a general idea.
So that precludes our presentation. Does anyone have any questions?
Okay, Tanya, we did get a few students ask some questions. So the first one is for you regarding fashion merchandising and design. And they are wondering, so they're evaluating a few different programs in the state, and they're wondering what makes the fashion merchandising and design program at CMU different than some of the competitors.
So we have the largest program in the state of Michigan, and we have been ranked regionally in the top 10 programs, so substantially ahead of other programs at other Michigan universities. The other difference is our specialized spaces. We are the only program that has access to 33 3D printers. We're the only space that has access to a fully functioning textile lab, just for example. We also have additional apparel equipment to test with over in the Center for Merchandising and Design Technology. And so we have equipment over there too that no one else has. We also embed real world experiences and projects in our classes. And that's another advantage of keeping in close contact with our alums. So it's not that unusual for an alum to reach out from their company and say, hey, we have, this, and we would like to have some help with it. And we then make it a class assignment. And that's really nice for the students because then they have a real world experience that they can put into their senior portfolios and they can show when they graduate. So it could be we've worked with Carhartt numerous times. We've worked with Abercrombie. We've worked with Adidas, many companies. We've worked with Gap and Levi Strauss. And these are companies who are reaching out to our students to help them solve some sort of merchandising or design problem.
Awesome. Thank you so much. The next question is for Beth, and this student is wondering, what is the typical placement rate for someone pursuing a degree in interior design?
Okay, placement rate over the last few years, it's averaged between about 80% to over 90%. I think for 2018, 2019, it was just over 79%. But it really depends on the students that are graduating and what they decide to pursue. So sometimes, I know that the group in the 2018-19, we had some students who decided to pursue another career path. So that's why that was a little bit lower. But most recently, we've typically had in the mid 80s to low 90s.
Awesome. Thank you. And then this last question is for both of you, but students are wondering, what is the typical starting salary for people looking at going into either of these fields? So we'll start with Tanya.
So of course it will depend on whether or not where you live, because of course the New York market and the California market does pay higher because of the cost of living. But usually you're looking at 45 to 55,000 starting.
Awesome. Thank you. Beth?
Yeah, hi. Interior design, I would say, again, it depends, yes, on not only where you're living, but just what type of firm that you're working with, whether it's a very small firm or a large architecture firm. I would say low 30s to low 40s is a typical starting range. We often refer our students to salary.com as they're going out into the field to negotiate their salaries so that they can get a general idea of what the average salary is in that region for an entry-level position.
Awesome. I believe that's all the questions we have right now.
Okay, well, thank you again for joining us. And please feel free, our contact information is at the bottom, and please feel free to reach out to either myself or Beth if you have any questions later.
Okay,
Awesome.
thanks everybody.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.